Here we are again, doing some millipede castings, having a little fun, getting some for some of the farmers around town, some castings. They love it for their beautiful vegetables. What it is the millipedes, what they do is they eat the wood, they eat the leaves, and they're a very great composter, which is very fungal dominant, and it makes the vegetables and everything else, it's 100% natural, organic, and it makes the vegetables and everything else just grow a lot faster. It's natural fertilizer pretty much, just like worm castings. But it's Florida's version of worm castings, which, you know, a lot of people around don't have enough input about them. But look it up, millipede castings versus worm castings, and it'll tell you the different characteristics of millipede castings. Very strong fertilizer, very good. Just great here for South Florida. It's just you know where to get them. Very easy to get. Make up your own compost pile. Catch thousands of millipedes. Millipedes. A single millipede grows to be an average of, they have an average of a 12-year lifespan. If most things don't eat them, you know, like birds don't eat them, but frogs eat them and stuff like that. But birds can't eat them because they naturally have a slight bit of cyanide in them, which will keep the birds from eating them. But other than birds, you know, frogs and snakes and stuff like that can eat them. But birds would be ones that would eat them, but they can't, just because they won't. They have that natural cyanide, which they're not going to harm people unless they would eat like 30 or 40 of them at one time. But they're very nutritious. For their castings are very nutritious for plants and stuff like that. They a lot of people think they're a nuisance just by how they look. You know, worms are so beautiful, but millipedes are too. They're very harmless. You can touch them, play with them, all that stuff. A lot of people have them for pets and stuff like that. You know, your average millipede. Right there's a millipede right there. They're cool. Castings. And they're just a great composter. They're some of the best composters in the state, for sure. Because they can break a pile, probably a 30, 40 yard pile down in probably 6, 8 months. You know, thousands of them can break it all down to themselves. And you'll have a pile like we got right here, which is only like 1 foot high, but full of millipede castings, which is great fertilizer, once I said. Just got to know where to get them and study them. And I mean, it's a great fertilizer to mix with worm castings too. Bat guano is very good. Mix with it. But I mean, you're getting real technical there. Really, all you need is castings, millipede castings, if you got them. But yeah, Mike's Organic Topsoil, we will sell them. The castings, that is. Millipedes get to live, and I try not to step on them. You know, there's thousands of them everywhere. I step around them. But like I said, which is amazing, the average age of a millipede is 12 years old. So they do a lot of eating. one millipede. And if you're talking hundreds and thousands of them here in South Florida, you can get a lot of castings if you know what you're doing. A friend of mine said she wanted to start her own little millipede farm. And that way she can save the castings for her garden. It's perfect permaculture, millipede castings. Perfect permaculture. Put down your mulch, get your millipedes, which they're gonna break it down really good. Great composter they are. And meanwhile, they will feed your garden. They only eat browns. They don't eat greens. They eat browns, and that's why they're such a great composter. They're not going to eat your flowers and your vegetables and stuff like that. But if it dies, if the leaf dies and falls on the ground, of course they're going to eat it because it's brown. If the tree would die and be totally solid and dead, they would eat it. But I mean, it would have to fall over or something like that. And the branches would all have to fall on the ground. But, yep. I'll show you how some of this looks here. Oh. Let's see if we can see. Let's flip it around. See if we can flip that around. How do you do this? I don't know, it ain't giving me a box to do that. To flip it around. Nope, ain't doing it. But alright.